Chapter 2. Good morning. I think my favorite part at our peaceful farm was how we started every morning. The highlights of the day were that we had a flag raising every morning and a flag lowering every night. With the exception of people immediately at guard duty, everyone attended this event every morning and every night. This served an official dual purpose of showing our patriotism, but also a way for us to really break the ice with each other. Coming on every morning showed dedication to the community, and we could immediately see how everyone was doing. If someone wasn't looking well, we would know right away and could address it, for example. As everyone said good morning to each other silently with a smile and a nod, the flag is brought out. The flag is carried by one and escorted by four. Full attention turns to the morning ceremony. The flag bearers stop at the flag with two at the pole, two waiting, and one holding the flag, folded in a triangle. The two waiting begin to unfold the flag, and then the two at the pole assist in attaching the flag to the pole. Once the first portion of the flag is secured, the two at the pole begin to slowly at first raise the flag as it begins to unfurl. The two holding the flag carefully help it unfurl cleanly as the original person holding the flag continues unfolding it the rest of the way. In a couple of rotations of the flag's rope, the flag stars can be seen, and the person turning the rope stops and holds the rope in place for a moment. Then they secure it around a notch so that it cannot move. The second person at the pole stops to help secure the second portion of the flag as the wind starts to catch up and bulge the flag, giving it life. The other three patiently wait as this happens, and in only a moment the second portion of the flag is secure. The flag's line is then loosened from its notch by one of the people at the pole, and the flag continues to get pulled up to the top of the pole via pulling on the line. The three, taking every care with the flag, unfurl and loosen it fold by fold as the wind tries to take the flag for the day. The three cannot just let the flag go lest any part of the flag touch the ground, which would be very upsetting. To keep this from happening, everyone holds on to the flag, still taking full responsibility despite the wind's best efforts to smack everyone with it. With a few more careful pulls from the rope and everyone carefully letting the flag go, tiny bit by bit, eventually the flag was high enough. At that point, everyone let go and immediately saluted. We all immediately saluted as well, except for who is holding the rope raising the flag. This is when I also breathed a tiny sigh of relief because I was getting a little nervous at that part. The bugle then played reveal, and the flag rose to the top of the flagpole and then got tied off for the day. As the flag was being raised and as the bugle played and we all saluted, we also all together said the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We all let our arms rest and relax as everyone said their good mornings. Everyone was happy to be safe and free for another day. Chapter 3. The Hamlet. One of the first things to go after the collapse were the giant wasteful vanity houses. After the initial collapse, we resettled out of the suburbs to more secure and strategic locations after we had successfully defended initial advances from the other side. We had accurately predicted their advances very well and were able to defend and retreat to positions we could hold that were self-contained. After that, we basically set up little hamlets around farms, streams, and other strategic resources. This was in order to protect those areas from the other side wanting the area that had intent to either steal materials from or pay for with their new meaningless currency that they had invented. The new structures we used were either made from modified reinforced shipping containers when we could get them, or built from cinder blocks full of gravel and rebar, and insulated and closed with steel doors. We had solar panels running in when we could, attached to batteries, and then central bathrooms in the middle of the town that we maintained as a group. The most important part of these bathrooms were the ladies' bathrooms. We made sure that they had bathrooms set up exactly how they wanted because we knew that that was the key to having a happy town. I always insisted this early on, so we set up a very elaborate draining system that was both sanitary, robust, sustainable, and most importantly, comfortable. It was also private, so all their sanitation needs were being met the way they were used to. Some of the guys guffawed at this, but in order for the ladies to get along with the new normal, there were some compromises that had to be made, and this went a long way. Drinking water was tapped and pumped through an underwater spring. Shower water was plentiful, relatively speaking, and Every home unit had their own private shower. The water for that came from the side of their house. They used collected rainwater from the roof in these 20 to 30 gallon containment units. The farm's gardens got water from the stream that ran by, and of course the constant rain. We were closer to the hills, and the clouds got trapped here, and it would rain, or there would be condensation all the time. We also had these windmill type units that would spin and collect water in the ground during the summer months for additional water, but in the winter that would help our drinking water to not freeze. The windmills didn't work in most areas of the world where you weren't going to get water anyway, but we ended up using them here because the tactic was to just collect the water by any means necessary. These units worked well for that in our climate. Basically, we just collected the water year-round for everything. Chapter 4, The Townsfolk. Also, this place wasn't just for our team to live. There were still farmers and barns and workers, and everyone's still living in all of their places too. So far, I've only talked about the new tiny homes that sprung up. We still provided security logistics, provided mechanic assistance on farm machinery, and whatever else we could do for everyone that was here. One of the biggest things we provided was travel and trade security. We had a system that everyone was able to trade securely, since the products from the farm we supported had to make it to the main market to be traded. Everything was barter now, since none of us were welcome in any of the large cities, which we called city-states. Nobody we worked with generally accepted the new currency anyway, since the other side took over everything west of the Cascades. The only people that accepted the currency were people that could get into the large cities to use it for something, and the people in the city never really came out. That was usually because they didn't have anything to trade, and nobody out here would accept their money. So even though we would do the odd manual labor, most of the debt we paid for food was running site security and running them to the nearest hub town to trade. The hub is where all the vegetables and fruits were traded, along with any excess canned goods made at the farm. Everything the farm kept went in an underground cellar that kept at a good temperature year-round. We also smoked various proteins that the hunters caught. We called them affectionately and with the utmost respect the Fuds, who would catch, kill, fish animals and bring them back for processing and long-term storage. They were very good at this, and despite them not being tactical in their most practical hunter gear, we knew they were every bit as lethal and extremely patriotic. They were even more patient than we were, and they were a good check and balance overall arm system on the farm. We were never at odds with them, though, and it was always an equal respect, as many people on our team had been hunters and fishermen in the past. As I walked past all the townsfolk going about their daily routines, I could smell breakfast already in process and headed towards the barn, where we all had chow. Chapter 5, Breakfast with the Team. The team had grown significantly since the collapse had started, after the recycling plant incident helping to shore up the subdivision I lived on showed how well I had worked with the on-site security station there. The community security team responsible for the area saw my potential and offered a full-time spot on the team as an analyst. I accepted the position with the caveat that I get to take my cat, which was just fine with the team, and everything worked great. Merch was exchanged, and we quickly became good friends. Our team had been very busy since the initial collapse. We were about to lock our zone down, hold the other side off, resume food operations, and reach a semblance of a new normal. There were other places that managed to hold out also. Our public relations officers had made contact with them, so we did scheduled welfare checks as part of our community outreach program. Prior to the collapse, we always work with the local LEOs, or law enforcement officers, or whatever indigenous security or military. So post-collapse, we just continued working with whoever had survived that leaned to our side, that wanted to cooperate as part of rebuilding the community. Today was one such day, so the breakfast conversation quietly revolved around that. A specific and particularly large building had asked for us to check on them once a month, just to make sure nothing happened that was too big for them. The visit was also to show our support, to let everyone around them know that they had a big team supporting them, which we did, so no big deal. And as specifically for the team, we have a prior military registered nurse now, a dentist assistant, prior firefighter, and several prior military people whose specific military responsibilities I didn't know, but whose experience all worked great together. It was fun just to hear them all talk to each other and make military jokes, but we didn't make jokes about them, just listened to their jokes and laughed when they laughed.